The Church of Rock.
But I do have him on the line. He's a pioneer of American roots music for more than a half a century. Jesse Colin Young has left a unique mark on the intersecting worlds of folk, blues, jazz, country, and rock and roll. As frontman of the Youngbloods, he immortalized the ideals of the Woodstock generation with the song Get Together, an international hit that called for peace and brotherhood during the turbulent 1960s. He's been at it a long time, my friends. His 22nd album is out. It's his first solo acoustic album since his 1967 debut with Soul of a City Boy. The new album is called Highway Troubadour. I would love to welcome Jesse Colin Young to the Earth Heart Radio Show. Hi, Jesse.
Hey, Derek. Thank you. My pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Are you on the East Coast, Jesse? Are you on the East Coast, my friend?
Did I lose you?
I'm here. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hi, Jesse. I'm here.
Ooh, but you're
Can you hear me okay?
down in level.
Okay, I'm trying to get it louder. Is that better?
Oh, well, no, I mean, you're really way down. Yeah.
Boy, I'm sorry. I was just wondering if you were on the East Coast.
Yeah, I am on the East Coast. Is that what you said?
Yeah, and I know you were in Maui for a long time, but then you came back to the States, correct?
Yeah.
I'd like to know about...
I came back to the mainland in 2006.
Did you miss it?
We were on the Big Island, although I started my love affair with Hawaii and Maui. Pretty soon Maui became kind of overpowered by tourists, and I found that the Big Island had not suffered that yet. So Connie and I bought a little farm over there. Ended up planting coffee, and when our house burned down in California in a forest fire in '95, we had a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old, and we moved to Hawaii to this little house that we had there for just kind of a vacation getaway.
I love Maui, but it sure has become crowded. Can you tell us about your new album, Highway Troubadour?
Derek, I cannot hear you.
Oh, that is so strange. I wonder what's going on. Is this better? Can you hear me better now?
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why the volume is so funky today. I might have to...
I've lost you again.
Oh boy, this isn't good. Jesse, it's your 22nd album, correct? Hello? I think we have a bad connection, Jesse.
Sorry, Derek, we disappeared.
Should I try to call you back? Should I try to call you right back, Jesse, to see if we get a better connection?
You need me to call you back?
Yeah, how about if I call you right back?
Okay, let me...
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, you want me to try to call you right back, Jesse? Yeah, it's just not working. Hello? Jesse, I'll call you back.
So the number's 803-642-7114.
Thank you. I'll try you right back.
Derek?
Yeah, I will give you a call in a minute.
Did you get the number?
I do have the number, yes. Yes, I have the number. I'll call you right now. My friends, I am very sorry. In 23 years, I've never had this happen. But I always tell Tracy, every time I do radio, honestly, something happens that's never happened before. So you can always expect one thing with live radio, and that's the unexpected. And it's how you handle it that's the big deal. Normally I would freak, but I'm just going to be cool as a cucumber, and we're going to go ahead and try it again. I'm not giving up. It'll work. I'm telling you it'll work. It always sounds louder.
Hello.
Hi, Jesse. Is that better?
A little bit.
Good. Sounds so much better on my end. I wanted to focus on the Highway Troubadour album. It's your 22nd, correct? Hello? Oh boy, I don't know, guys. We may have a problem today. I'm going to try once more, and if not, I guess we'll just have to, I don't know, call it a day on this interview because it's not working out. But I'm not going to give up. I'll try once more, but apparently there's an issue with the phone. It's a first. I've had nobody say they're having any problems with my phone before, except for when I leave messages sometimes. Hey, Jesse, you want to try it once more?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, great. Is that better then? Can you tell us a little bit what inspired the new album?
Yeah, the new album really started on the first day of stay-at-home here in South Carolina. I looked at my wife, Connie, and I said, well, I guess we're not going out to dinner. What do you want to do? And she said, listen, this feels kind of weird, and there's a lot of people feeling kind of weird right now. So why don't you get your guitar and play something, fun like Sugar Babe, and I'll just use my phone and record it, and we'll stick it up on Facebook on your page. And we started doing that and ended up for the next 2 months probably doing that 3 or 4 times a week. And, so I was working out solo versions of mostly songs that were recorded with bands, from all parts of my career, Youngblood, and my solo bands in the 70s, and some of this music that I played with a young band that we released in 2018 and an album called Dreamers. So, I don't know, by the time we got to May, I had been playing solo on Facebook for the first time really in 20 years.
Wow.
And I'd been doing it for 2 or 3 months, and I was getting good at it. It took a little while. And my manager said, maybe it's time for a solo album. You're getting a lot of good response. And so I said, well, I'll give it a whirl. And I went to my local studio. Sean Getz has a Digital Halo, a wonderful studio here, 15 minutes from my house. And he and I and my wife, Connie, just recorded it there.
Interesting. How long did it take for the entire process to record the album?
Well, it was spread out over a month, but only because Sean's studio is so busy that, I could only get to record 2 or 3 days a week. Sometimes just 2. So I took it took us a month, but it was only 4 or 5 sessions, 4-hour sessions. That's kind of a magic number for me, especially recording live. I want it to be fresh. I don't want it to be the 5th take. I really want to get it on the 1st or 2nd take, so
yeah,
it still feels good.
Was it tricky picking out the songs for the repertoire for the album, or was it fun, or was it tricky for you?
I recorded about 20, I think, or 22, or something like that. And these these were just the best performances. So that's the way I picked them. They didn't have any, BMG didn't have any ideas on what it should be, just my songs. And so I just picked the best performances, and they only wanted 11 songs, so that's the way I did it. The ones that were, the most exciting, the most soulful, ones where I got lucky and remembered the guitar licks.
Right? That's important.
Yeah.
Do you plan on any live performances or any live streams or anything like that, Jesse?
Well, I did, I made a couple of live solo concerts back in September, to an empty theater here in my hometown, South Carolina. So we'll be putting them up in the coming months. I don't know exactly when.
Interesting. I was reading about the new version of Get Together that you did for the 50th anniversary of that song, and you did that with Steve Miller on vocals and Stratocaster guitar. Is that right?
Yeah, that was fun. Back last summer, I thought, it was the summer, I don't know what it was last summer. It was the summer before the election, as we're approaching the election. I had a track of Get Together that I'd done with this young band that I was playing with my son, Tristan. These 7 20-some-year-olds from Berkeley College of Music, wonderful musicians. And I was thinking that the election year might be a little nasty and that we would need some get-together. So I was having dinner with Steve one night up in New York, where he lives, and Manhattan, and said, I've got to get together, and I think we should put it together. I've got a track to it. You want to play on it and sing? He said, I'm in. That was it. So when he came back from tour that summer, which was probably not till beginning of October, I went to work and redid my vocals and acoustic guitar. Then I took it up to New York, and Steve put on his Strat and sang. And that was it. We mixed it down here at the Digital in South Carolina, and there it was. And we decided to give it to does it say anything about that? It's a charity, and it's a food charity.
Oh.
And I mean, when we finished this in January, we didn't know about COVID, but it turned out we had given the song to a kind of a big food charity, so that every time somebody would even listen to it, that money turned into food.
That's awesome.
When it was out, and we were already heavy in May or something, when it was released, it was already, we were already heavy into it, and food was in short supply. So Get Together once again was right there doing it.
That's beautiful. That song has just stood the test of time. It's one of the most relevant 60s songs I can think of. I love it so much.
Oh, me too, man. I loved it from the first time I heard it, yeah.
Did you know that was going to be a hit song when you heard that, Jesse?
Oh, no, I didn't. I just knew I loved it. And, when we recorded it, it was 5.5 minutes, and in those days, nothing was being played on the radio that was 5.5 minutes long. But that was before the rise of, this was just as FM radio was getting its legs, and all of a sudden, Get Together, I don't know, it just, it came out first in 1967. It was a big hit in San Francisco, and we were were in New York, and we walked in to a hit record in San Francisco the first time we played there. So we realized we could work there and actually make a living. So we moved from New York to, maybe 40 miles north of San Francisco out in the country. And after living on the Lower East Side for 6 or 7 years, boy, what a breathtaking, wonderful thing that was to find a ridgetop and build a house.
And then you also formed Ridgetop Music with your wife, correct?
Yeah, we were crazy enough to have a record company. Yeah.
When COVID hit, Jesse, you also launched a new series called One Song at a Time with videos and music from across your entire career.
Yeah, that was the ones we did for Facebook, one song at a time. I don't know how many we did, 20 or 30 of them.
Wow.
But that, was wonderful. That led to the solo album, and it led to me really enjoying. I've been enjoying playing solo because I hadn't done it. I haven't done it in 20 years. And
wow.
Really, I haven't done it for audiences, so I'm looking forward to go out and sing some solo shows when we get past the hump here.
Yeah.
We can, it'd be wonderful if we get 60 or 70% of the country vaccinated. We'll be in good shape.
Also, Jesse, your podcast series called Tripping on My Roots, with interviews and storytelling and collaborations with musical peers and saluting some of your mentors. Are you still doing that podcast series at all?
Yeah, I am, but I think there's only about 5 of them out now. We kind of came to a screeching halt because I was going around. I went down to Macon and for Little Richard's. Richard was not there at the time, but his house has been saved, and I did one on Little Richard. And at the same time, Taj Mahal was playing a show down there with Jonathan Edwards, so we did the show with each of them.
Nice.
And but that was kind of the way I did most of them. Was I started with Blind Willie McTell. The day that I found out he was buried 40 miles from my house here in just across the Georgia border. And, wow, Statesboro Blues is on the first Youngblood album. That song was one of my entrances to the blues. Was on a record that I picked up probably when I was at NYU, right before I quit school. NYU is right in the Village, and I had no idea when I transferred there that music scene was going on, but I found out about it. I found out I was right in the middle of it, and that was exactly the right place to be at the right time.
Wonderful, wonderful. Something I found out yesterday when doing some research about you, I didn't know that Charlie Daniels was a former Youngbloods producer.
Yes, a lot of people are surprised by that. Yeah, we had wanted Bob Johnston to produce a Youngblood record. The fellow who did some of the most beautiful Paul Simon and Artie Garfunkel. What were they called?
You mean Simon and Garfunkel, or no?
Simon and Garfunkel, yeah. Yeah, so, and we had, but he was busy, and so I guess Charlie was working for him as an assistant or on his project, so he sent Charlie.
What was he like?
Yeah, he turned out to be a wonderful, wonderful producer. He said, yes, some people need you to get behind them and push, and other people you need to get in front of them and slow them down. I think you guys just need me to be here. And Yeah, it was a strange time because Corbett quit the band about 2 songs in into Elephant Mountain, and so we were all of a sudden a trio, and we stayed a trio for the rest of the time. The Youngbloods, and that, you know, and Elephant Mountain came out the same year. Get Together was a hit again in the summer of Woodstock. So.
Yeah, because a lot of folks might not know the first time that Get Together was released, it didn't do as well, but the second time is when it entered the top 5, right?
Right. But the first time it got us to San Francisco and Seattle and stuff when 1967, in the Summer of Love, we discovered the West Coast and moved there. I think we have it. And our following, we're really from Seattle to San Luis Obispo. Mostly the north, what we would call the North Coast.
Yeah.
It was what a wonderful surprise for us that was, to be able to work and make a living. New York, we were kind of starving.
By late 1984, the Youngbloods briefly reunited for a club tour. How did that go?
It was fun. Joe Bauer had passed, our drummer. So we had a fellow by the name of David Perper with us. And it was Corbett and Banana and myself. Oh, I went back to playing bass. That was kind of exciting for me to go, because I hadn't played bass since the Youngbloods, since I kind of stopped the Youngbloods when I don't remember the year. But yeah, I hadn't touched the bass, so I got back to playing the bass, and it was neat to play with Corbett and Banana. But it only, it went on for a couple of months, and then that was it.
A lot of people don't know that you were playing at the very first No Nukes Festival back in the day with David Bromberg.
That's right. We did. I was one of the founders of No Nukes, and we did the first. Tom Campbell, the promoter, and I played the first No Nukes concert in San Luis Obispo at Cuesta College with Bromberg. Yeah. He and I, and Tom Campbell producing. He was the producer. He was the only man that I ever played a benefit for that ever made some money come out of the benefit for whoever we were playing it for. The redwood trees, so many benefits just never, they were people with good intentions, but God, Tom was always able to make it work. I mean, we went all the way to Madison Square Garden with that.
How cool.
And after we had that week at Madison Square Garden, we played on Sunday at Battery Park in Manhattan. 250,000 people came out for No Nukes.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many No Nukes concerts were there in their entirety? Do you know? How many No Nukes concerts were there totally?
I don't know, because that was like a big, huge thing, but all the rest of them were small concerts all over the country, and different people were doing them. Bonnie was doing them, and Jackson was doing them, and a lot of other people got involved
Interesting. Hey, Jesse, if you had to give a nod to a musician, maybe that's one of your peers, perhaps, that's somebody that you look up to that inspires you, who would come to mind? If I could play with the passion and the talent of Yo-Yo Ma, I would be a happy man. He's quite awesome. Yeah, he plays with so much love and so much beauty. I just Just to be fair, do you have a particular favorite female musician or artist?
Do I have a particular? Yeah, Bonnie Raitt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you worked with Bonnie at all?
Yeah, we played the first solar-powered No Nuke show together in San Luis Obispo, Bonnie and I, way back in the beginning of the No Nukes thing.
Wow.
Probably in the mid-'70s.
Another controversial thing I remember back in the day was you were supposed to play The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, but they wouldn't let you sing one of the songs they agreed to let you sing, and you guys said, we're not playing at all. Is that true?
Yes, it's true. Yeah, we had just released, as I said, Elephant Mountain, so I think they called us because somebody canceled on us. We lived in San Francisco, so we didn't have a contract, but we had a verbal contract. And we said, yeah, we'll come on and play Get Together, but we want to play Sunlight from our new album because that's what we're promoting. And they said yes. And then when we got there, and in the sound check, or maybe even it was after the sound check, they came to our manager and said, you know, we had too many people scheduled on this show. We don't have time, so you guys just come play your hit song and get out of here. And usually we have a contract to play 2 songs, and that's what we intend to do. And they weren't willing to keep their end of the contract, so we walked out.
Bye-bye, Johnny.
Yeah. I don't think anybody else in his history ever walked out on a show before.
Not even Ed McMahon.
He was very nasty about it.
Oh, wow, I love talking with you, man. Hey, Jesse, how do people get a hold of your music? Is JesseColinYoung.com, is that your main website?
Yeah, that is my main website. And we have a lot of the albums there, and the Kona coffee that we grow, because I spent some time in Kona. Wonderful. Yeah, at JesseColinYoung.com. The podcast, Tripping on My Roots, the ones that I have, I'm working on one with James Brown's daughter now.
Wow.
And because she lives in Augusta, right near me, lives in Augusta, Georgia. And so I've done some wonderful interviews with her, and I've got to put it together.
That will be interesting.
Brian Willie McTell, Taj, Jonathan Edwards, and yeah. So we'll start those again as we get to being able to travel and get us going, because that's really important to me, tripping on my roots.
You also have a song of the same title that's on the new album, which I'm going to play very shortly. I really like that song a lot.
That's good. Yeah, we wrote it. Connie and I wrote it together because we tried the first one with Blind Willie. We hired a video crew, and we said, and they're local guys and good guys, and not too expensive. And we said, well, we're just going to try this and see if it comes out. You know, I had never tried to do a master of ceremonies kind of thing.
Yeah.
And make, a short film in my life. And I thought, well, if it sucks, we just won't put it out. But we really like that. The one about Brian really came out, the first one.
Nice.
God, I looked at it and I said, it's cool. We should do this. So we realized we needed a theme song. So we sat down that day and wrote Tripping on My Roots.
Well, thank you for all the information. I want everyone to know, if you're listening to an interview with Jesse Colin Young. His 22nd solo album is out now, Highway Troubadour, www.jessecolinyoung.com. I'm pretty much out of time, but I wanted to express my sincere gratitude to Jesse for making the time to talk to a little guy like me, and I really appreciate that, Jesse.
All right, brother. Yeah, we're in this together.
Yes, we are. And thanks for making the time for us. We appreciate you and all your music that you've done all these years.
Thank you, man. You take care.
Okay. You too, Jesse. And hello to Connie, and take care, bud.
All right.